Tonight, former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich, who has kind words for Hillary Clinton. But first, a few items from our Freedom File. The House of Representatives has formally censured Democratic Representative Charlie Rangel for a slew of ethics violations, including failure to report taxable income. Wow, a censure. I thought you went to jail for failure to report taxable income. When Mr. Rangel was confronted by a concerned citizen about his subsidized Cadillac, illicitly obtained rent-controlled apartments, and back taxes, he responded, quote, "Why don't you mind your own business?" Mind your own business? Congressman Rangel, that's all I've ever asked for from the government. But legislators like you write all sorts of intrusive and unconstitutional laws that you yourself can't be bothered to follow. We'll mind our own business when the government leaves us alone. The SEIU is one of the biggest public employee unions in New York State. Unions are big supporters of President Obama and the Democrats. So isn't it ironic that because of the costly new national health care regulations championed by the president and by this union, the union is cutting health benefits for the children of many of the union members? Obamacare is supposed to ensure that everyone has health care. But that's the law of unintended consequences for you. The National Journal reports that the Congressional Tea Party Caucus, the Tea Party Caucus, has requested more than $1 billion in earmarks. The public elected Tea Party candidates because they wanted smaller government and a government that stays within the confines of the Constitution. This is very bad news. Are these Tea Party folks for real, or are they just big government Republicans jumping into the Tea Party bandwagon? America, we will watch this one very closely for you. Tea Party and earmarks simply do not mix. Former Speaker of the House and author of the book Valley Forge, Newt Gingrich joins us now to tackle the onslaught of state secrets stemming from the WikiLeaks expose. And get this, Newt Gingrich is praising his longtime political rival, Hillary Rodham Clinton. Mr. Speaker, this isn't only in America, but welcome to the show, of course.
Oh. Great to be with you
Mr.
again.
Speaker, Julian Assange, is he a hero to freedom, or is he a terrorist who should be prosecuted?
He is an active enemy combatant who is engaged in information warfare against the United States. What he is doing is going to have incalculable damage to this country. It is going to have a number of innocent people killed, a number of our allies killed. It's going to put Americans at risk, and he has dramatically crippled our ability to gather intelligence, because why would any foreigner share with the Americans when they know that their information might immediately show up in some kind of leaked cable? This is an act of war.
If this type of information fell into the hands of almost any journalist, a conservative Republican, a liberal Democrat, a patriot who loved America, some socialist who hated America, any journalist, who would sit on this? Anybody would reveal this, wouldn't they?
Well, first of all, you have to ask the question, how did the administration fail so totally that supposedly a private had access to download 250,000 documents?
Well, on that, I agree with you. The administration can't be telling the truth. There's no way this buck private alone could have had access to all of that.
Well, so that should be a scandal of the first order, and the Congress should be looking at who is responsible for security. How did they fail so totally? How did this catastrophe occur? Second, the private, who is not protected by any kind of First Amendment, should be tried, I think, for treason. This is not a game. The idea that somebody other than the president is going to go around on their own and release secrets that could get people killed.
So far,
this should be okay.
So far we're on the same page, Mr. Speaker. But my view of the Constitution and the First Amendment, and hang on, and I would submit the Supreme Court's view of the First Amendment differs from yours, because the Supreme Court says Assange is protected as long as what he distributes is in the public interest. Clearly, this is in the public interest. We are fascinated with it. Some of it's good, some of it's bad.
No,
much of it is secret, some of it is meaningless.
It's not in the public interest.
It's not in the public interest to know that we're killing people in Yemen. It's not in the public interest to know that Hillary Clinton dispatched agents to steal the credit card numbers of foreign diplomats.
No.
Okay?
We're in the middle of a war.
But the public
This
interest
gonna
is
be a-
defined by the court as that which is newsworthy. It is newsworthy to know these
Well-
things because you and I and people like us have been talking about nothing but this for the past
Well,
week.
you and I have a different standard. I'm an Army brat. My father spent 27 years as an infantryman defending this country.
Right.
We are in a war. In World War II, no responsible journalist would have published any of this. In World War II, American journalists were patriots first. They didn't run around prattling about lawyer rights. They understood the difference between having the right to do something and whether or not it's the right thing to do. It is the wrong thing to do. It is going to get people killed. I think it is despicable that the New York Times cares so little about America that it doesn't mind weakening us, that it doesn't mind putting people at risk.
Should the government that you would like to shut down WikiLeaks shut down the New York Times for publishing this and working along with WikiLeaks?
No, because WikiLeaks is a different kind of institution. WikiLeaks openly, publicly says their goal is to undermine the United States.
Well,
Assange is a person who's deeply anti-American.
What about Fox News, which puts Assange on air and which discusses this openly as you and I are doing now? I mean, I think we have to be careful what we wish for, because if the administration could impair WikiLeaks because it doesn't like what it talks about, it could impair other aspects of the media because it doesn't like what they talk about. That's why we have a First Amendment.
I think we have to have a national dialogue about responsibility. I believe when any institution, including Fox News, undertakes steps which increase the likelihood that Americans and American allies will be killed, there's something profoundly wrong with the system.
Should somebody like Assange be arrested in London on a trumped-up and ridiculous charge that his condom broke during a consensual sex act and extradited to Sweden in order to get him off the streets? That's what the government is doing.
No, what we should do is treat Assange as an enemy combatant. Information warfare is warfare. The National Security Agency should close down that site, keep it closed down. Every time they try to reopen it under a new name, they should close it down.
Mr. Speaker.
And we should wage active information warfare against any effort to release American secrets.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for joining us on Freedom Watch.
Thank you.